Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and here I am back in my laundry room, sorting out my cozies. The ones you're looking at there, I have already shown you in previous videos. I have already put away one box, but I have two boxes left here to show you, and then a few more on my cart and my shelf that I haven't shown you yet. I'm going to try to get all the way to the end of the alphabet in this video. But I have a few odds and ends, one series that is by multiple authors, and I still have down there, that bin right there is the fiction books that are in my TBR jar. So I may not get to those this video. I may save those for another video. And so let's just get to it. In this box right here, I believe, are all M's. Authors starting with M. And then this is on through the alphabet, except for maybe W's. A couple of letters near the end of the alphabet are over on the shelf behind me. So we'll just do what's in the boxes first, or at least I'll show you the M's, and then we may bounce back and forth just a little bit. These are not necessarily in exact alphabetical order, but let's just start at the top of the box with what we have. So this first series here, I've got 4 of the first 5. These are by D.R. Meredith. It's about a mystery book club. The name of the series is the Megan Clark Mystery Series. This first book I have read. It's called Murder in Volume. Book 2 is by hook or by book. I believe I don't have book 3 and that this is book 4, Tome of Death. But let me just check. Yes, that's correct. This is book 4. And book 5, Murder by the Book. The next series I have here is the Antique Lovers Mystery Series by Deborah Morgan. I have book 1, Death is a Cabaret. I have book 3, The Marriage Casket. And I have book 5, The Majolica Murders. I'm not sure how many are in this series, and I have not read any of these. Okay, the next series I have is a series of 5 books by Mary Jane Maffini. They are the Charlotte Adams Mysteries, and I believe that Charlotte Adams is a home organizer. These really appeal to me because I am chronically disorganized and I love organizing books. I've read a boatload of them and this just really appealed to me. I have not read any of them yet, but I do have the whole series. Book 1, Organize Your Corpses. Book 2, The Cluttered Corpse. Book 3, Death Loves a Messy Desk. I think this is the first one that I ever found, and then I immediately started looking for the rest of the series because I love that cover. Then I have Closet Confidential, that's book 4, and book 5, The Busy Woman's Guide to Murder. Okay, I have 2 books in the Blossom Valley Mystery Series by Stacy McLaughlin. I have book 2, All Natural Murder. I think I found this at Dollar General for $2 or $3, and I love the cover so much that I had to get it. And I am in search of book 1, but at this point I have not been able to find it, but I have found book 3, Green Living Can Be Deadly. Also a fantastic cover. I've got a couple of antiques here. I first found this book, and I got it just because of the old car. My husband's really into old cars, and I couldn't resist getting this, The Silver Ghost by Charlotte McLeod. And these are Sarah Kelling mysteries, and this is book 8. Then later on, I saw this one and I recognized the author and I knew it had a similar look to this one. And I thought, well, it's got to be from the same series. So I grabbed it. It's book 7, The Recycled Citizen. I don't know anything about these books. I have not read them. If you know anything about them, let me know. But I will continue to look for earlier books in the series. I mean, I'm not even sure how old they are. They are fairly old looking at least, and I might have to see if I can find these on ebook in order to get the earlier books in the series. Anyway, moving on. So I have this book that is a collection of short stories, and the only reason I have it in the M's is because it is edited by Jill M. Morgan, but it has a variety of authors. The whole book is called Creature Cozies, and it says it's a menagerie of all new mysteries, and so I'm gonna guess that they are all animal themed. We have a story from J.A. Jantz, one from Jan Burke, Carol Nelson Douglas, and others. I'm not sure how to pronounce that name. Dick, is it Lochte? And so that looks fun, and I found that maybe at a library book sale somewhere, I'm not even sure, and went ahead and picked it up. Here's two different series that I only have one of. This is by Fiona Mountain, Pale as the Dead. It is a genealogical mystery. I don't even think there are any more of this series. Maybe one got written and it just didn't take off. There may be one more, but I'm not really sure. And then I don't know anything about this series either. These are Quilted Mysteries by Mary Marks. This first book is called Forget Me Not. And then the last M series that I have, or at least by an M author, is by Peg Marburg. They are the interior design mysteries. This first book is called Faux Finished. Book 2 is Decorated to Death, and these are definitely old library copies. And book 3, Fatal Flip. And this may be all there are of this series, but I'm not sure. This is definitely all that I have. I almost forgot, I do have some more M authors over here on this cart. You have heard me talk about Gilbert Morris before. In fact, I mentioned this series on my Christian cozy mystery video, and I don't know that I'd really consider these cozy, but anyway, they are definitely mysteries. So I have 5 of the 6 original Danielle Ross mysteries: Guilt by Association, The Final Curtain, Deadly Deception, Revenge at the Rodeo, and The Quality of Mercy. So as I've mentioned before, this series was then kind of taken over and revamped in probably the 90s. I think the original series was done in the 80s, and then in the 90s, I believe it was Crossway Books, took 4 of this series and put new covers on them and renamed them the Danny Ross Mysteries. Not Danielle, but Danny. And this first book, One by One, in the Danny Ross Mysteries, is the same story as the first book in the Danielle Ross Mysteries, Guilt by Association. But when I got to the second book, which I listened to on audio of this edition, it was not the same story as book 2 in the other series, which is The Final Curtain. And I could not figure out which of these that it actually was. So it may even be book 6, which I don't have. So anyway, I've got to just continue reading this series. I have now listened to all 4 of these, so I need to go back and determine which of these 4 correspond with these, and also I need to try to collect the last book, which I don't have, and just get it all sorted out, because on Goodreads they're not listed correctly. But anyway, this is a good series. This is the first 5 of the original series, and then this is 1 and 4 of the second round, and they only did 4 in this edition. And here's another series by Gilbert Morris. This is a cat-themed mystery trilogy. There's the name of the series. Is that pronounced Jacques? Is the S silent, or do you say the S? I really don't know how to speak French. But anyway, I guess it's Jacques and Cleo, Cat Detectives. The first book, What the Cat Dragged In. The second book, The Cat's Pajamas. And the third book, When the Cat's Away. I also have a few books in the Home Crafting Mystery Series by Cricket McRae. I don't have the first book, which is, I believe, called Lie in Wait, and lie is spelled L-Y-E. So I want to say it's probably about soap making. This is the first one that I found, and I was really drawn to it because it has the home canning jars on the front. It's called Heaven Preserve Us. And then as I started collecting more of the series, I saw that each one is about a different type of home crafting. So book 3 is Spin a Wicked Web, and it's obviously about knitting and I guess spinning, yarn making. Then the next one is about cheese making, Something Borrowed, Something Blue. I don't have the next one. It has something to do with wine and winemaking. And then this last one is Deadly Row to Hoe. So that looks like a fun series. And then under this, I have 3 books by Patrick Mansell. And I don't know if these are even mysteries. I think this is more of just kind of an adventure series. It was really hard to find anything out about them. But I did get these after they were weeded from our library, and I noticed them because they are set in the Abaco Islands. At least some of them are. The series is the Bimini Twist Adventures, and so this book is called Bimini Twist. And this is the one that really caught my eye because it's called Abaco Gold, and the Abaco Islands are part of the Bahamas that I've spent a great deal of time in when I was working on a cruise ship. I used to work on the Big Red Boat. I was a youth counselor way back in the day, in the 90s. And then the Exumas is also a part of the Bahamas. I don't think I've ever been to Exuma, but anyway, this is also a Bimini Twist adventure called Exuma Tide. And these are the only 3 I have. I have not read them, so I really don't know anything about them, but when I saw this one was set in the Abacos, I couldn't resist. I'm not sure how to pronounce this author's name, if it's Mahone or just Man. I don't really know. Mahan, I don't know. But anyway, this is book 3 in the St. Rose Quilting Bee mystery series. This is called Bits and Pieces. And I don't know anything about it, but if it has anything to do with quilting, I always like to grab it and then either read it or don't read it and send it on to my sister. Then I have a few of the Savannah Reed mysteries by G.A. McKevitt. And I have read the prequel series to this series. That's the Granny Reed mysteries. And I'm really interested in reading these, but I don't have book 1 or 2. I have here book 3 called Killer Calories. Yes, book 3. And I have Cooked Goose, which is book 4. I have book 5 in paperback here, Sugar and Spite. And then I don't have the next couple, but this one is book 9, Serial Killer. And then book 10, maybe? No, book 11, Corpse Suzette. And 12, Fat Free and Fatal. So there is some kind of a food theme to this one. Di from Dice's 19 Hearts has read at least the first one of these. We read it for the Book One Cozies Club. I say we. I did not get it read, but it was a pick for the Book One Cozies Club, and I was not able to get a hold of the first book. I haven't been able to find it at our used bookstore, and I want to say that even our library may not have it. So I may have to eventually just get it on ebook if I can't find the first couple of books in physical form at some point pretty soon. But I'm looking forward to reading it. I really did enjoy the Granny Reed mysteries. I think I have read all of those, which I think I've read all 2 of those, and I enjoyed those a lot. So it's a series I will continue with and eventually get to this one. I think the only in author that I own is Barbara Neely, and I have all 4 of the Blanche books. I first heard about the series from Troy Towell, and since then I have heard Dee Dee from Brown Girl Reading raving about the Blanche books, that they are awesome, and I am super excited to read these, and I just have not gotten around to it. So the first book is Blanche on the Lam. The second book, Blanche Among the Talented Tenth, I want to just read you the back. Blanche is described as a domestic worker extraordinaire turned accidental sleuth. And you can see the back there. But these just sound like a lot of fun. And apparently Blanche is a fantastic protagonist. So those are the first two. I have those in paperback. And then I have books 3 and 4 in hardcover. Blanche Cleans Up is book 3. And Blanche Passes Go is book 4. Moving over to my shelves temporarily, I want to show you one of my O authors. The author's name is Claire O'Donoghue. I think I have all of the books from this quilting series, and then I have one book from another series that I don't even know if you would consider it cozy. But my sister has read these, and she really enjoyed them. These are the Someday Quilts mysteries. This first one is The Lover's Knot. The next one, I believe I have these in the right order, A Drunkard's Path, and that is the name of a quilt pattern. I believe all of these are names of quilt patterns. The Double Cross, The Devil's Puzzle, and The Double Wedding Ring. So those don't necessarily look all that cozy, but I mean, it's a quilting series, so I'm gonna guess that that it would probably fall into the cozy category. This one, though, I'm not so sure. This is book 2 in the Kate Conway series called Life Without Parole, and I have not been able to find the first one in this series, but this is book 2, and I am on the lookout for the first one. I don't know anything about this series. Another O author that I have a few books by is Leslie O'Kane. I've only got one from this series. It's the Allie Babcock Mystery Series. I'm going to assume that they are pet themed. This is book 3, Give the Dog a Bone. And then also by Leslie O'Kane, I have the Molly Masters Mystery Series. I think I have all 7 of these. And this first book, Death and Faxes, also goes by a different title. And on Goodreads, it's called Death Comes E-Calling, and I think that this is the original title, Death and Faxes, from 1996. But anyway, it says that the protagonist is a cartoonist, but most of the books appear to be school-related, which is what drew me to them in the first place. The second one, Just the Facts, Ma'am. Book 3 I have in hardcover. It's called The Cold Hard Facts. And then book 4, The Facts of Life. Book 5, The School Board Murders. The next one, When the Fax Lady Sings. And then I think this is the first one that I ever got of this series, Death of a PTA Goddess. So moving on, let's see what else I have. This next series is by Kathy Pickens. I think I featured this series when I was doing a series of videos about books with my favorite titles, because overall this series has some really great titles. It's the Southern Fried series by Kathy Pickens, and this is the first book, Southern Fried. The next one is Done Gone Wrong. The third one is Hog Wild, Hush My Mouth, and the last one is Can't Never Tell. And I have not read any of these, but I love the titles. Ooh, it just started pouring down rain. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but it is raining hard. Okay, the next one in the box is by Suzanne Price. It's called Dirty Deeds. This is book 2 in the Grime Solvers Mysteries. There's only 3 of these. My sister sent me this one, and I don't know anything about it, but it says there's cleaning tips included, and there's a cat on the front. How awesome. And speaking of cats, here's a few books from the Cats in Trouble mystery series by Leanne Sweeney. I have listened to the first one of these on Audible. I believe I bought it, and since then I have just run across a few here and there. I believe this is book 4, The Cat, the Wife, and the Weapon. And the first book that I read, I don't even remember the title, but I really enjoyed it, and so I think this is a series that I will really enjoy overall. This, I believe, is book 6, The Cat, the Vagabond, and the Victim. And then I have book 7, The Cat, the Sneak, and the Secret. Well, you may have noticed that I skipped from P to S. I do have a couple of R's. They're right over here, but I'm just going to go with what's in the box here. So this is the Farmer's Market Mystery Series by Paige Shelton. This first book, Farm Fresh Murder, is a book I have not read, and I haven't read anything by this author or this in this series. The book that I have next is number 3, Crops and Robbers. I think this is the first one that I got of this series, and I love the title, so I couldn't resist that. And then I just very recently got this one. I was looking for book 2 in the series, and they didn't have it. I believe this is book 6 or 5. That's 5. This one is a Christmas theme, Merry Market Murder. And I was looking, like I said, I was looking for book 2 at the used bookstore. The first day I went after it reopened after COVID-19 and all. I didn't want to walk away empty-handed, and they didn't have any of the books that were at the top of my list. So I at least wanted to pick up something that was from a series that I hope to read, so I grabbed this one. I haven't even shown this in a book haul. And I am going to be reading another book by this author. It's the first in, I guess, a more of a food-themed mystery series, and we're reading it for book club in a couple of months. It's called something about fried chicken, if fried chicken could fly, or something like that. I don't know. It's by the same author, and I'm looking forward to that. And this series, I guess, is also food-themed because it says it includes recipes. But this looks like a lot of fun, and I am excited to get to something by this author, at least this year, and this series hopefully pretty soon. This is a series by Jennifer Stanley. It is the Hope Street Church Mystery Series. Now, I have not read either of these. I think there's only 3 in the series. And I think this is one of those situations where it's a church setting, but I don't think that these are necessarily Christian books in the sense that they have an evangelical Christian message or anything like that. They are just simply set in a church. I could be wrong, but that is what I suspect. Anyway, I have book 1, Stirring Up Strife, and book 2, Path of the Wicked, and I think there's only a total of 3, and I have not been able to find the third one yet. Okay, I've got some more S's behind me, but let's go ahead and finish this box with the R's. I have 2 R authors. William Rabkin wrote the Psych book series based on the Psych TV show starring James Roday and Dule Hill, and I love the show. I have not read any of the books. I have 3 of them. Book 1, A Mind is a Terrible Thing to Read. Book 2, Mind Over Magic. And book 3, The Call of the Mild. I think, like I said, there's only 2 more, and I would love to find them. If it's anything like the Monk book series, these are mysteries that are not identical to any of the TV episodes. Now it's even darker and thundering, but I'm going to go ahead and try to get through this. I have 2 from the Mom Zone Mysteries by Sarah Rosette. I did not realize till just now that there are 10 books in this series. I don't have book 1. This is book 2, Staying Home is a Killer. And then this is book 3, Getting Away is Deadly. I do have 2 other series by authors whose names start with S. And both of these are series that I should have included in previous videos. Now, what I mean by that, and not videos from this series, but previous videos of other themes. So these first 2 by Cindy Salzman. This is the Friday Afternoon Club Mystery Series. There's only 2. I have both of them, and I did not realize until today that these are Christian cozy mysteries. So I did a video a couple of months ago about Christian cozy mysteries, and I should have featured these in that series. Now, I have not read them, and the gist of that video was that I was recommending some Christian cozy mysteries that I had read. But at the end of the video, I mentioned a few more I had on my shelf that I had not started. And one of the series that I mentioned in that video, I don't think are actually mysteries, but this series definitely is. So anyway, the first one is Dying to Decorate, and the second one is Crime and Clutter. And then sometime last year, I did a video about fiction that is themed with a scrapbook theme. And I completely forgot about this series that I had on my shelves at the time. I still have not read them. The series is the Kiki Lowenstein Scrap and Craft Mystery Series by Joanna Campbell Slan or Slan. And this first book, Paper, Scissors, Death, looks really fun. And the next one, Cut, Crop, and Die. And then I have book 5, Make, Take, and Murder. I completely forgot about this series whenever I was doing that video about scrapbooking fiction, and a couple of you mentioned it in the comments, and I was like, oh my goodness, I even have those, and didn't show them. So I'm showing them now, and they look like they are a lot of fun. It's a big series. There's maybe 14 main novels and then a bunch of novellas, short stories, so it's a big series. I think the only T author I have is Terry Thayer, and I have books from 2 different series by her. I have the Stamping Sisters Mysteries, and I think there's only 3 of them. So I have Inked Up. That is obviously a Halloween theme. I have Stamped Out. Oh, this is the first one. Sorry, I got these out of order. And then I have False Impressions. This one looks like it's a winter theme. And then I have 2 from a quilting series by her. They're Quilting Mysteries. Wild Goose Chase is number 1. And then number 2, Old Maid's Puzzle. One more S author that I have is Patricia Sprinkle. I don't have the first 2 of this series, but I believe this is book 3 in the Thoroughly Southern Mystery Series. Who Invited the Dead Man? Who Left That Body in the Rain is book 4. When Will the Dead Lady Sing? Book 6. Who Killed the Queen of Clubs? Book 7. Did You Declare the Corpse? Is book... I don't know. I can't seem to find it. Oh, that's book 8. Sorry. And then, I don't think this is book 9. I think this is maybe book 10. Yes, book 10. What Are You Wearing to Die? Okay, then I will finish up this video with authors starting with the letter W. I have 2 from the Della Cooks series. Killer Moose is book 1, and The Proof is in the Pudding is book 3. I don't have book 2, and I don't know how many are in this series. Then I just picked this one up not too long ago. It's called Twisted Threads. It is a mainly knit needlepoint mystery, and I believe this is the first in the series. And then this one I've had for a while. I got this because we were going to read it for Book One Cozies Club, and Di did read it, and some other people read it and chatted about it, and I never got it read. This is book 1 in the Vermont Mysteries by Nancy Means Wright, called Mad Season. And then I have started this series. This is a series that I have started reading, and I really enjoyed this one. The first book is A Peach of a Murder. These are the fresh-baked mysteries by Livia J. Washburn. And the premise of this series is that there are a bunch of retired teachers all living together in one house. And they're not the best mysteries in the world, but I really enjoy them. I come from a family of educators, and I just think that the idea of a bunch of retired teachers all living together, it sounds really fun. So this was a really good book. And I've also read book 2, Murder by the Slice. This one is a Halloween-themed book. And then the next one I have also read. It's a Christmas-themed book, The Christmas Cookie Killer. And then this one I have not read. This is Killer Crab Cakes. Oh, and there went my light. Well, I mentioned that it was thundering. Our power just went out, and I'm so close to being done. I'm just going to finish this up anyway. This is Killer Crab Cakes, and it's book 4. I have not read it. And I don't have the next one, but book 6 is The Gingerbread Bump Off. And then just recently, after everything started opening back up, I visited my friend's flea market bookstore, and she had book 1 in a different series by the same author, and it looks like it's a literary mystery series. And this first one is Gone with the Wind themed. Frankly, my dear, I'm dead. So we're going to end there, and hopefully my power will come back on soon where I'll be able to upload this. And that's all I have for this video. I will be back soon with another video where I will show you the mystery series that are written by various authors and my mysteries that are in my TBR jar bin. Well, after about 20 minutes, the power came back on. So let me show you these again. Killer Crab Cakes, The Gingerbread Bump Off, and the first book in this literary mystery series by the same author, Frankly, My Dear, I'm Dead, by Olivia J. Washburn. So that's all for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.